Good morning, everybody. This is Danny from Deep South Homestead. For those of you who are new subscribers to ours and are new to Porch Time, my wife Wanda and I, we live here on a 10-acre homestead. We raise most all of our own food. We are trying to live a very sustainable life here without having to actually go to a grocery store. We have 2 high tunnels, we have 2 ponds, we have cows, we have chickens, and we raise gardens. We raise bed garden, we container garden, we row crop garden in the fields. We do all this stuff, guys, and we try to do it in a way that we can show others what we're actually doing on our homestead here. Yes, it is cool this morning. It's a bright sunny day. There's not a cloud in the sky. It is 41 degrees out here this morning and a light breeze blowing occasionally. Sun's just coming up. I just got through feeding the cows. I just turned them into the pasture back here, and somebody made a comment on the last video, said, show us what you see from where you sit, because I tried to describe. I'm looking at the greenhouses, I'm looking at the pier, I'm looking at the pond, I'm looking at my garden with the stuff growing in it, I'm looking at the cows, the green pastures, all this stuff when I'm sitting here, and it's so peaceful to sit on the porch of our cabin to do this video. So I'm going to take just a moment. You hear the rooster in the background? I'm going to turn it just a moment and turn the camera around, because everybody wants to see what I see when I'm sitting here. So hopefully I'm going to be able to show you guys that. I'm going to come around. You'll have to work with me. Now my smokehouse sits right beside me here. I love my epic smokehouse. As you look back there in the back, I'll see if I can pull this up where you can see what I'm looking at. There's the back pasture. The cows, they're all back there eating. See all that pretty green grass? There's my cold frame. There's my potatoes. Look at the scenery back there. The cows all in the pasture. Everything's green. I come on around. I'm sitting here looking at my pond. That's one of them. My pear trees are all bloomed out in the back. Got pears all over them. Look at my flowering crabapple there. The pier. There's the mulberry trees. Already got mulberries all over them. The greenhouses, the back of my home, and the pond goes on around. We have more peach trees there. They already have peaches on them and everything. This is the view that I sat here on my swing at the cabin. This is the view I see when I sit and look out across here. And that's why it's so peaceful for me to do porch time here, is because of the beauty of the view. Now the trees are beginning to leaf out. They've got leaves all over them now. They're blooming, the oaks. And we're going to come back around, and there's the epic smokehouse. Yep, we do smoke our own meat here at Deep South Homestead. We are back now. Everybody always wanted to be able to see what I see whenever I'm sitting here. So I thought that, I thought I would take the opportunity to show you guys that, and just give you a little bit of a heads up into what I see when I'm sitting here on a beautiful morning. And I hope you enjoy that. I hope it's a blessing to you. But the weather today is really nice. It's going to get up to about 65 today, which I think is a very comfortable temperature. It's supposed to be mostly clear all day. But guys, we've got some, I have a video coming up this coming week. If it hasn't already showed, it might have showed yesterday, I'm not sure. Because I'm shooting porch time just a little ahead of time. And it's about the upcoming weather events that we're going to be facing. And we could, with what's coming, it's potentially everything I just showed you could have been lost. So we're hoping not, but we're praying that the Lord will be good to us. Now, I want to take today, guys, I am really concerned about where we're headed. I mean, when I say I'm concerned, I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned at how easy we're complying to everything. And then you may look at me and you go, but I'm not complying. I don't believe in it. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I am. We're all being conditioned, and we don't even realize it. That's the sad part about it. It's being done to us so gradually that we don't even know that it's actually happening. Now, I want to title today. I'm trying to figure out the right words. Looking at the world through a screen. Because I want us to stop and think about looking at the world through a screen. Now, do you realize that every aspect of your life right now is controlled and you're seeing it through a screen of some kind? It started with the television. We seen, got a bluebird sitting on a limb right here in front of me. How beautiful, a male bluebird. It started off with the TV, how we would look at the screen of the television and we were mesmerized by it when it first came out, you know. We all had the old analog system, and then we went from the analog system over to the digital and all, you know. And now we're in high definition, and I mean everything has changed tremendously. And then you stop and think about it. We went from a rotary dial phone to a phone now that has a screen on it. And I dare say there's many people in the world, including most small kids, that don't have a screen of some kind setting in front of them. It doesn't matter if it's a vehicle. Your vehicles today have a screen in them. Most of them do, the newer ones. Wanda has a new vehicle she bought here. Well, it wasn't brand new, but she bought it here a couple of years ago. And this machine, I'm so outdone with technology. You don't have to have a key to crank it. You just get in it. As long as the fob's in your pocket, you're okay, or in your purse or whatever. And you know, you don't have to have a key to unlock the door. Guys, this vehicle talks to you. It can carry a conversation with you. It sends us emails. It's not even human, and it's sending me an email. It tells me my tire pressure is low on the left front tire on the driver's side. I need some air. It's at this many pounds. Please put this much air in it before you drive it. You know, I don't like my car sending me emails. I don't like my car talking to me. And the point I'm going to make today is, what choices do you really have? Think about it. Now, my old truck, I call it an old truck. It's a 2006 quad cab 4-wheel drive. It's all electric. I mean, everything, and it's got all the bells and whistles, but it don't talk to me. It don't send me emails. It is electronic. Everything in it is computerized, but at least it don't email me. And it don't send me messages. It's like it wants a personal conversation with me. It can't have a conversation. It don't have any screens in it or anything like that. And I'm totally happy with that. I'm very comfortable with that. As a matter of fact, I would prefer one from the 60s or 70s that doesn't have anything but points and condensers in them, is what I would really prefer. But yeah, it's chilly out here. I'm not used to it. I'm used to it being in the 80s. It was in the 80s the other day, and we got very comfortable with that, and now all of a sudden it's dropping back off cold again. But getting back to the subject of looking at the world through a screen, I'm going to make a point to you here, and I want you to think about how easy you comply. Okay? You ever order anything online? You ever go to a grocery store and self-check out? Do you do your banking online? Do you swipe a credit card? Do you swipe a debit card? There's one feature on it that says you comply. and that is the click to continue button. I want you to stop and think about that. If you go and you use your debit card or your credit card to make a purchase, it will ask you, the first question it will ask you is this the amount? Is this amount accurate? And you either have to click yes to continue, or it just you can't go any further. You do not have a choice. If you buy something online, you excuse me, you go to your store, whether it's Amazon, Walmart, or whatever store it is that you use, online, and you buy something, and you don't really buy it. You move it to your cart, and when you get to your cart, it will have click to continue, or go to checkout. We're always being conditioned to obey a screen. I don't care. You go, well, I don't have none of this stuff. Your new refrigerators have touch screens on them. Your new dishwashers have touch screens that you punch buttons. Your microwaves have touch screens on them. Your washing machines have touch screens. Your dryers all have touch screens. All this stuff has touch screens, and it's about to drive me nuts. Our dryer, y'all seen the video here last week. Our dryer caught on fire, burnt the house. Burned our clothes up in it. We got rid of it, and I told Wanda, I said, we just hang them out, and right now I'm looking at clothes hanging on the line back here, even though I have a brand new dryer sitting in my house right now. We did get a new one. Because we have rainy days and stuff like that when we can't hang clothes out. And we have inopportune times when we really need to dry some clothes. But when we went to order a dryer, I told Wanda, I said, do not buy a dryer with a touchscreen. I want one that is old-fashioned with the knobs that you just turn. And Ms. Wanda did a fantastic job. She looked and looked until she finally found one. She ordered it, and it only took a couple of weeks, or maybe a little over a week to get here. And it got here, and the thing weighs absolutely nothing. The two wonderful guys that unloaded it for us and took it into the house, picked it up, didn't even have to have a dolly. They just reached over and picked it up, toted it inside, set it down on the floor. I told them, I said, I'll hook the cords up and everything. Y'all don't worry about it. I'll check it out. And me and Wanda reached and grabbed it and picked it up, toted it into the utility room and set it down. Grabbed it by the top. We didn't even have to get under it. That's how light it is. That tells me probably how cheap it's made also. But nevertheless, it wasn't real expensive, and that's what we wanted. Guys, you go in my high tunnels. Y'all have seen the videos in my high tunnels. I have screens in it that tell me the temperature, that tells me the humidity. I got so aggravated with it, I told Wanda, I said, go find me a thermometer that has a coil wire in the back of it that just works off of the ambient temperature outside. And we found one, and we have it in there now. That's what I want. Now, do you realize that everything that we comply to, every time we consent to something, that there is a consequence with it? You give up your freedom of choice every time you consent to anything. Because I dare say that anyone who's listening to my voice today reads the fine print on any click to continue. Because you've become so accustomed to doing it, you just click to continue. Because you've already been conditioned to do it. It's a gradual process that we're being put through to get us to comply. Now, I don't have a problem for those people who wear masks. I don't have a problem with it at all. If that's what you want to do, that's your business. I don't wear one. I never have wore one. I had to wear one when I had to go in the hospital here several months ago. I did that for my own safety because the people in there probably sicker than I was, you know. And it's a known fact, you go into a hospital, you usually come out sicker than you were when you went in. So I put a mask on to protect myself. I do that when I go into a hospital anyway. But I don't have a problem with people who do that, but it's all about getting us to comply, is what it's all about. Now, there is some safety features to it, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to debunk that at all. I'm not trying to be controversial about that. I'm just trying to say that I'm trying to think of another example. Okay, I'm going to give you another example. Seatbelts. When I was a kid coming up, nobody, literally nobody, wore a seatbelt. Seatbelts were optional in vehicles. Your older vehicles didn't even come with seatbelts. My kids, when they were little, stood up on the front seat with us, and we drove around everywhere with them. They sit in our laps. They climbed around the back. As a kid, I slept in the back window of a car while we drove. Nothing ever happened to any of us. We were all perfectly fine. I had a massive car accident. Those of you who've ever seen my story that I've told about my past, on October the 17th, 1977, I had a massive car accident. A woman knocked me off of the road. There was ice on the sides of the road. I had nowhere to go. It was a huge cliff embankment off the side of the road. My sister was in the car with me. The car went off the side of the road and flipped numerous times going off down this huge embankment. When it flipped the first time and landed on its top, it crushed my sister in on the side that she was in. And the steering wheel broke my legs because of the jar. And as it was flipping the second time, I put my arm around my sister's waist in the car as we were flipping. That's how fast you can think. I was really physically fit, getting ready for military service and everything. And as we were flipping the second time, I opened my car door on my side. And as the door swung open, the centrifugal force threw us out of that car over 100 feet. And I hit a clay bank on my left side and took her blow in my body. Now, I almost died in this, but they didn't expect me to live, but I did live. My point being, we did not have seatbelts on. The officer said if we had had seatbelts on, we would have been killed because the car was totally crushed. The top was just crushed. After it finished flipping off down this ravine, we would have been killed. And from that point forward, it was very difficult for me when I get into a vehicle to snap a seatbelt. Now, my former wife that's passed away, she had 3 kids that was on their way to school one morning. The oldest one was a senior. She had just walked the football field as a homecoming girl. The next morning, the following Monday, she was on her way to school, and she popped over a hill. And the sun was in her eyes and she couldn't really see. And she messed around and left the road just a little bit, and the car flipped up on its side. Well, there was a pine tree there that hit the top of the car, and the car just kind of fell back down. Didn't even do any damage to the car, but it killed all 3 of the kids in the car because they had a seatbelt on. And when they had a seatbelt on, all that they could do when that tree hit the top of that car as it flipped up and laid back down was they slid straight up because the seatbelts had them hid, and it broke every one of them's neck. There was not a scratch on them anywhere. They looked like they were all just laying there asleep. It broke every one of them's neck instantly. Felt no pain, felt nothing. And the car wasn't even damaged hardly. And when I think about those things, it's very difficult for me to snap a seatbelt on when I get in a car. And today we get in a car, we just like click, we just take off down the road because it's the law. We've been conditioned to comply to it. And we don't even think about it. They go, oh, well, statistics says that this many lives are saved because you have seatbelts on. And I do get that. I'm not trying to say that it's not good. I'm just trying to say that through the use of that, we've been conditioned to not even think about it. It is second nature to us. When we get in a vehicle, we don't even think. We just click, click, click. And if you don't do it, the freaking car or truck keeps sitting there, donk, 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 making all these weird noises until you actually hook it up. Now, I actually know a lot of people that click it behind them. I don't do that simply for one reason. And if you have an accident, and they find the seatbelt's clicked behind you, the insurance company will not pay. So that's one reason I won't do it. And if you have an accident and you don't have your seatbelt on, the insurance companies a lot of times won't pay anyway. Lots of places, if you go through town, you're on a screen called a camera at every intersection, and if you don't have a seatbelt on, you'll be sent a ticket through the mail. So, guys, our whole lives are being controlled by screens. Now that makes me irritated as all get out. A lot of people look at me and they go, "Danny, you're just old-fashioned." Yes, I am, and I'm very proud that I'm old-fashioned. You know, I'm very proud that I'm old-fashioned. I don't have a problem with being old-fashioned. I don't mind some technology. I like my AC, stuff like that. I like to be able to crank a car up and drive to town and come back. And yeah, I like those things. I don't want to have to walk. I don't want to have to ride a bicycle. I like my side-by-side. I can jump in it and come over here to the cabin. I don't have to walk over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's conveniences and technologies that are good. The computer that I make my YouTube videos on is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's on a screen. You know, we upload our videos on that. I understand that it's a screen. I don't have a problem with that, but it does not rule my life. That's why I have this off-grid cabin right here that I'm sitting on the porch of. This is basically a studio for me and Wanda now. When we get tired of screens and electricity and EMF radiation signals and frequencies and all this kind of stuff in the big house on the hill that you just seen the back of in the beginning of this video, when we get tired of all that, Wanda and I come over here to the cabin where there's no electricity, and it's like we're in a different world. There's nothing tampering with us over here. We sit here and it's so peaceful. I soundproof the inside of it. It's extremely quiet when you go in there. There's no refrigerator running. There's no clocks ticking. There's none of this stuff happening in there. And you'll be amazed. It's so quiet you hear your own heart beating. And it's just when you go to sleep at night, Wanda and I, literally, it's like we die when we go to sleep. We sleep so hard because there's nothing interfering with our sleep. You know, that's the beauty of it all. Now, it's one of those things, I'm just looking for the words. It's one of those things that it's really hard to explain. People take vacations and they go to the mountains and they'll rent a cabin to get away from it all. To have some peace and quiet and tranquility, you know. That's what we've tried to create here, so we don't have to go on vacations. And that's a choice that we've made. We don't want to go on vacations. I've traveled all over this country. I'm not interested. I've seen everything I want to see. Every place is beautiful. Every place has something different to offer. I get that. I love mountains. I love streams running through the mountains. I love log cabins in the mountains. Yeah, I love all that. But I love where I'm at also. I love the things that I'm seeing here. Now, there's things I don't like about where I live. I don't like the fact that there's hurricanes that come in here, and I don't like the fact that it gets to be 100 and something degrees in the summertime. I don't like all the insects. I don't like the fire ants. I don't like the bugs and all this stuff that is here. But if I move and I go somewhere else, I have to face a new obstacle there when I get there, something I wasn't used to or I'm not used to. And the bottom line is, people go, but don't you just want to? And I told them, I said, if I want to do it through the use of a screen, I can see it and not have to worry about it. It's kind of like watching football. People go pay outrageous amounts of money for tickets to go to a football game when you can sit and watch it on a screen and you get playbacks and you get better visibility than you do if you're actually at the game, and you can hear better and there's just lots of benefits to it. So looking at the world through a screen is not all bad, but it is and it will eventually control our entire life. Now, the last question I want to pose to us before I get off of here is history asking us, is this okay? I want us to think about that for a minute. Is history asking us, is this okay? I think that it is. I think history is asking us that very question. Is it okay to view the world through a screen? And the answer is not all of it should be viewed through a screen. No. People have gone to the point now they have these. You say I don't watch anything through a screen. You see that watch on my arm right there? That's a screen right there. On that screen is displayed all kinds of things. If you wear a Fitbit, if you wear something that tells you about the monitoring your heart, anything, all that stuff is done through screens. Some things are good, some things are not good. But the bottom line is this. I think history is trying to teach us that not everything should be viewed through a screen. If you're disabled and you can't do anything in life, the screen can be your best friend. You can live your life through a screen. God has given you that freedom and that ability, and praise the Lord you have it. You're not locked in a house somewhere where you can't see or do anything. If you're a quadriplegic and you're laying in a bed, you can still see things through a screen. I have a brother that's paralyzed, and much of his life is viewed through a screen. But if you're a well able-bodied young person, or even if you're not even young, and you have the ability to live life outdoors, do it. Do it as much as you can. Grow your own food. Watch your plants grow. Don't watch something grow through a screen. Get out and actually get your fingers dirty. I can't say that. I was going to say something, but I can't say it. It'll get me in trouble. Guys, when I want to know something that I don't know how to do, and that's mainly, and the crazy thing is I went to school to be a mechanic, and I have to look online now, these new vehicles, to figure out how to do something on them. I have to use a screen when it comes to my vehicles to tell me how to fix a particular part of it now, because everything's computerized. I have to use a screen for that. When it comes to the solar systems, I mean, I'm an electrician through my construction companies. I'm an electrician. I'm licensed, but I wasn't licensed for solar, so I had to go to the screen on the computer to learn as much as I could about solar systems. And I still don't know a lot about it, but I'm learning. But screens can be beneficial. But if history is teaching us anything, we should not ever put all of our eggs into one basket. Don't completely 100% rely on screens for everything in your life. Learn to do some things by hand. Learn to view some things with these in the real world. So guys, my point today is our life is being controlled by a screen. And the main problem I see with it is this one thing. We're being trained by the screen to comply. And some people have no problem with complying. They do it very easily, mainly the younger generation. Everybody wants to, let me say this, everybody wants to say it's the younger generation. It is the younger generation because they were raised with computers. But I'm also learning that the very elderly are complying very easily. And that really shocks me because they know better. The biggest group of people that I see that is not wanting to comply are those that are like from 30 to 55 and 60. That range of people right in there is not wanting to comply. Now, a lot of them are, but there's a huge section of them that's saying, you know what? I'm tired of this. I just want to live a simple, plain life again. And guys, that's my whole thing today. Let's try to get away from the screens as much as we can. If you have to order appliances, try to order the old style appliances if you can. Try to get away from as much digital stuff as you can, because what you're doing is they're training you to click to continue. Click if it's okay. Click, click, click. They're gradually taking your choices away from you, that in order for you to go to the next step, you must click continue or it's okay. And most people don't even know what they're clicking to continue. They don't even know the rules behind everything. So guys, be cautious about what you do and how you do it, and just stop for a moment and realize how much of your life is being done through touch screens and screens of all sorts in the world that we're living in today. Stop and think about that, because when I first stumbled upon it and the thought crossed my mind, I was like, well, I don't even tote a cell phone with me. I have one, but it ain't even been turned on in months. And I was like, I don't even comply to this very well, But when I started digging into it and realizing just how much we do rely on screens, even me, as much as I hate it, I look at a screen all the time. And I am at a point right now that I'm doing my best to get away from screens and trying to purchase stuff that does not require a screen of any kind. I'm even thinking about getting rid of the watch and going back to the wind-up watches. No batteries, just a wind-up watch. These are things I'm thinking about, because it's so amazing how easily we've been conditioned to comply, and we don't even realize it. Just a food for thought today, guys. I love you and I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to Deep South Homestead, I would ask and encourage you to subscribe to us. Hit that notification bell over there on the side so that you can learn when we have a new video up. Our videos deal with all sorts of life-changing things going on here at Deep South. We have anything from raising cows to putting up high tunnels and greenhouses to building pond piers, to putting in septic systems, DIY projects, planting in a garden, planting in raised beds, cold frames, starter plants, all kinds of things, guys. We have over 2,000 videos out there that has anything. People's always saying, can you do a video about this? I'm like, dude, I got a playlist with 2,000 videos in it. If it can be done, I have probably done it. Just go check out our playlist, and I'm sure you will find anything there. We make our own syrup. We squeeze our own sugar cane. All that's in there. Anything from, you name it, it should be there. Thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate you. Hit the like button before you get out of here, because all the thumbs up you give us and all that kind of stuff puts us into another algorithm that helps us to reach even more people. Lord, and our desire here at Deep South Homestead is to reach more people for the Lord than for any other reason, than anything else, is to reach people for the Lord. And I really think that the Lord created this beautiful creation that I showed you guys in the beginning for us to visually see with these personally, rather than picking up a screen and looking at it through a screen. Food for thought today, guys. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.